they show up over nuclear test sites. And they will actually, if a nuclear bomb goes off on a rocket up to the sky, the craft will do something to it to deactivate the nuclear warhead so it doesn't work. It's no longer nuclear. But I think there's a second reason, and I think that there are nefarious ETs that are don't have our best interests at heart. And I think they're working with the highest levels of government to also make sure the power structures don't change. Because if the power structures change, then everything changes. And they don't want to lose their power. And they'll do anything to keep it, unfortunately. Hello, my name is Karen Holton, and welcome to the New Human Horizon. What's inspired me to develop my YouTube channel and my other channels is I wanted to create an environment that other people could reach out to who were also finding difficulty in the social reality. So, people whose family is telling them they're crazy, or perhaps they've gone to their church and the church says, oh, that's the work of the devil or that's evil or things like that. I wanted to create an environment where other people could come and make friends and feel safe. So that was really important for me. So the first podcast I started is called the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton. That's available on all the audio platforms as well as X and YouTube and Odyssey and Telegram and Rumble. And I started interviewing people from all over the world who had something positive to offer humankind. So either they were doing some kind of healing or some kind of support or scientific research or anything like that I thought would be helpful. So that's how I started out. And then eventually I developed a second show called Aliens and Angels that is for people who have experienced things like extraterrestrials, near death experiences, out of body experiences, contact with angels, anything like that, because I myself have had experiences with these seen and unseen beings. I know that they're a real thing, and I wanted to offer support to other people so that they could feel safe and come and listen and talk and participate in the live chat and enjoy, community. So there's that. And so my channel is called Karen Holton TV on YouTube, but it's also the same name on a lot of other platforms as well. Mhm. I I have not had any experiences with negative ETs, but I've talked to a lot of people who have. And sometimes the experience is very frightening because they don't understand what's happening to them. And sometimes it's very frightening because they have been given no orientation towards the experience. So I can't speak from personal experience, but I can say that the extraterrestrial beings that I have had contact with and that I wrote about in my book, they are already doing the things that we need to do. So, for instance, they're already very patient with each other. They're already very loving with each other. They're very mild. They don't get mad. They're not quick to get angry. They put away their war ways, their warring ways, their anger, their resentments, their jealousies. They put all that away because they realized that that is a dysfunctional way of being and a dysfunctional way of doing things. So they've realized, so they're not that far advanced to us. They're at our next stage of development where we could be if we just said, nope, I'm not going to war anymore. I'm not going to hate someone from another country. I'm not going to be jealous that somebody else has more money than me. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to have a completely different way of being. Then our frequency is higher. We're vibrating on a higher frequency, and we're more likely to have contact with the kind of beings um, that I've written about in my book. And I think it's really important that we learn from other beings who are like us, but not that different than us. So the beings that I met were very much like humans. Some have a little bit different noses or ears or whatever, but most very much like us. And I found nothing to be afraid of whatsoever. And they use a telepathic method to communicate with all of us on this world. So I'm in no way special because I'm able to receive their communication and participate in their program. There are millions of us who are able to do that. I'm just one of many. And so I'm really excited about that because these beings can come in and do a lot to give us an orientation of a new way of living that is not destructive, where we can actually have better health, better relationships, better everything. And I think that as soon as we're ready, we can start to do that. Do ETs help to stop conflict now? I think they do. I think they do. And one thing that we've seen a lot of evidence to support is what we call flying saucers or light ships or just craft that are not created by humans, that are created by extraterrestrials. They show up over nuclear test sites. And they will actually, if a nuclear bomb goes off on a rocket up to the sky, the craft will do something to it to deactivate the nuclear warhead so it doesn't work. It's no longer nuclear. They have gone down and deactivated um, nuclear weapons all over the world. This has been happening. And it's like they're saying, nope, you can't use those. Another thing that's happened is we have seen um, these small craft, for lack of a better word, that are run by extraterrestrials, and they come into our atmosphere, and the humans are shooting hellfire missiles at them, trying to destroy them, trying to blow up their little spacecraft. Now, first of all, if ET was going to hurt us, you would think they would retaliate and they'd shoot back, but they don't. And that shows again that the people who have the power here on Earth do not want an intervention by the extraterrestrials because then they would lose their reign of power. So I have friends who also have extraterrestrial contact, but they're having a different kind of contact than what I had. So I have a friend by the name of Jeff Silver, and the gray extraterrestrials told him that told him that they are doing a hybrid program where they're mixing human genetics with these extraterrestrial genetics to create a new race of humans. And they're going to establish a very large city here on Earth where all these hybrid children that are now growing up to become young adults, they're actually going to create a new system for us where we can live in love and peace. and good health and all of those things. And so that we can be happy, healthy, and also get to meet other races of extraterrestrial people. Um, I have another friend named Kevin Estrella, and he's in contact with the Ponti. So the Ponti look like gray aliens, but they live underneath the Sandia Mountains in New Mexico, and they've been here for thousands of years. So a lot of the different races that we think of as being extraterrestrial, they actually might even have been here longer than humans on the earth, but we just didn't know that they were there. They're aware of us, but we're not aware of them. But either way, some extraterrestrials, they want to just leave us alone and let us find our own way. And some of them are willing to share a bit in helping us to discover like new forms of energy so we're not causing air pollution and um, cheaper forms of energy that we can all have access to, regardless if we're rich or poor, won't matter. So I would say yes, extraterrestrials are contacting humans. All kinds of books are being written about what to expect, and I think it's important for people to pay attention, even if they don't want to believe it. That's okay. You don't have to believe it, but be aware of it and be ready, I think, for what's coming. Because I think when things look really bad, that's when things will turn around and start to get better. That's what I think. Why have the governments concealed the truth about extraterrestrials for so long? I believe it's for two reasons. One reason would be because they want to keep their power. They have all the power and all the money concentrated in a very small number of humans. Some say 1%, some say even less than 1%. So, so they don't want to lose their power. They don't want somebody else. The other thing too is the people that have the power and the people that have the money are the same people. So, for instance, many of your listeners and your viewers will be familiar with Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla invented powerful technology so that we could have a global energy system at no cost. So we could have telecommunications, so we could have all these things. Well, I think it was J.P. Morgan who owned all the copper mines and the copper wires. He put Nikola Tesla out of business because they didn't want any other technologies coming in and being used by humans because they want to make money off of everything we do. They want to make money off of everything we use. They want to make money off everything we eat. They want to make money off everything. And so they're just absorbing our energy through money on all things. And so the government, as we're finding out now, is not here to serve the people. The government is here to serve these very big, large corporations who have the monopoly on everything. And now they're introducing AI, so even more so, so they can keep all the power, all of it, and us have none. Well, that's not going to work. Just going to say it, that's not going to work. But I think there's a second reason, and I think that there are nefarious ETs that are don't have our best interests at heart. And I think they're working with the highest levels of government to also make sure the power structures don't change. Because if the power structures change, then everything changes. And they don't want to lose their power. And they'll do anything to keep it, unfortunately. If we all decide we want a better world, then we're going to get a better world. And that's going to include free energy. Everybody on the face of the earth will have lights and be able to cook food and have everything that they need. That's the first thing. The second thing is people are going to realize that we get lied to all the time by the powers that be. And that's got to stop. So I think we're going to start developing our telepathic abilities because in the telepathic worlds, or when we're dealing with beings who communicate with telepathy, there's no lying. There's only the truth. Only the truth. What's the point of lying? Everybody would know about it, right? And so I think that's another thing. We're going to have increase in telepathic skills and abilities. We're going to have free energy. We're going to realize the horrible things we've been doing through big business, big pharma, the military industrial complex, governments. It's just been a horrible mess and it needs to stop. And we need to stop participating in it. So I think we're going to go back to probably growing a lot of our own food. There's no reason why we can't have small gardens in our backyards and on our rooftops and stuff. I think we'll start sharing more because money won't be as important because money is a problem. And that's what's fueling the greed and the power struggles. So I think we are going to have a shift in the global consciousness, and that's going to play out by having a better life for everybody.
Yes, so I see you have also created something called Randoms Organite, right? So
Yeah, I
what
have one here.
exactly is and how
Okay,
does it
these,
work? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, oops, I have one right here that I can show you. So, what these are crystals inside a resin matrix. So, I don't know if you can see it. There's a clear quartz crystal in the top that goes this way. It's got copper wire wrapped around it. And then I've got everything in here. I've got jade and turquoise, lapis lazuli. I got some metal shavings in here, and I've got a flower of life symbol on the front. So all of these crystals, or most of them, are in the quartz family, and quartz is what they call piezoelectric. So when you put a force onto a quartz crystal, it becomes energized and it has both a positive and a negative pole to it. So this is inside. This was actually created this way, and it's inside it was inside a wet substrate that we call organic resin. And what the organic resin does is when it cures, it shrinks. So first we have a mold and then we pour in the resin and we put in all the crystals and place them all how we want them to be and let it dry. So all the moisture evaporates. And then what you're left with is this tight compression on all the crystals. So now they're all activated and they're all absorbing the energy from my computer and my monitor and my cell phone up through the bottom, and it gets purified and reset to the frequency of the crystals, and then it comes out the top. That's how pyramids work. Then the energy comes out the top. And so I found them really, really helpful for, sorry, I find them really, really helpful for while I'm working on the computer, but I have them also all over my house because there's, big Wi-Fi towers and shopping malls nearby and different things like that. And they help to keep the electromagnetic smog. It doesn't get rid of it, it absorbs it and retunes it. So it changes it. It's transformational. It changes it from these negative impulses and electrical impulses that are not good for your body. And it changes it into the frequency of the crystals. So now I'm getting energy with the same wavelength as quartz and lapis lazuli and turquoise and all those other crystals, which are very soothing to the body, very healing to the body. So it takes something that's not good and turns it into something that's good, basically, and is good for your health. So I just found out about them again. I get most of my information directly from my unseen guides, which you could call extraterrestrials or angels. Um, and they're the ones that told me about that. And I did research on the internet and I couldn't find very much about it. So then I had friends of mine make them for me and I started selling them on my website to try to cover some of my expenses to having a podcast.